dog. Mrs. Moffat lived all alone in a little cottage in the forest. She wasn't lonely, or so she told herself, because she had a garden to work in, books to read, and 1,001 chores to do around the house. But sometimes when the wind howled down the chimney and she thought she heard footsteps outside in the night, she felt just a little bit frightened. "What you need is a dog?" said a neighbor. "Nonsense," said Mrs. Moffat. "Dogs are nasty, messy brutes." It was a long walk into the village, and often Mrs. Moffat wished she had someone to talk to. "What you need is a dog," said the butcher, wrapping up her meat. "Nonsense," said Mrs. Moffat. "A dog will eat me out of house and home." One night, when the rain was lashing at the window panes, Mrs. Moffat heard a funny snuffy noise on the doorstep. She opened the door and peered out cautiously. On the mat stood a very wet, very muddy, and very thin dog. It whined and looked at her with bleeding eyes. "Come in," said Mrs. Moffat, "but only until the rain stops." Not a moment longer, but once the dog was inside and Mrs. Moffat had rubbed it dry, given it some supper, and made it lie down in front of a roaring fire, she said to herself, "Perhaps I do need a dog. Yes, I do think a dog would be a very good idea after all." Thank you for listening my story. Please subscribe my channel and please share it with your friends.